All right, people of faith, let's take another walk. Let's talk on the subject of well, actually, I just want to go inside your soul for a second. I initially was going to say that I wanted to play inside your soul, but what I'm going to say is not really a playful thing. That would just me, you know, having to play with words. So, okay, thoughts are realities, and the very confession of our thoughts becomes who we are. We are where we are based upon our confession of thought. But our thoughts have been long been planted, meditated on, and developed into a point of fruition, if I can say that that's the word. And now you can see the very thing that you're thinking. This is why the person can say, the very thing that I feared is the very thing that I'm witnessing. Well, because that thing that you feared was a meditated thought. And when it finally got to the point of to be seen, you spoke it. Now you can see the manifestation of it. Anybody ever seen the movie Far From Home? Spider-Man Far From Home. It's a movie about a person who's trying to, actually, it's a kid. He's trying to figure out who he is. He has experienced a lot of things in his life up to that point, and the things of his past is actually trying to be the centerpiece of his future. Yet, if he doesn't rectify the past, he don't have much of a future. They say if we don't learn from the past, we're destined to repeat it. I'll say if the past isn't addressed, there is no future. You're stuck in the past. And you would think that you move forward because things have changed, but things actually haven't changed. It just modernized for the for the time and place of the existence. You're stuck in time. Humanity would say it's 2020, but I would say it's no different than the 1520s. Nothing has really changed. We're still repeating the same thing because we haven't made transition from one reality to another reality. We still allow fear to be our ruler. And since we don't know how to confront fear, we fail or we continue to repeat it or live in the web of it. So the movie about Spider-Man, the kid is trapped into a reality. The reality is he always wanted to be a superhero, right? And so now he has his opportunity to be a superhero, and now he really doesn't want to be that. He really wanted to just be a kid. But the very words that he confessed, or the thoughts that he thought on, is the very words that he confessed, and now it's his reality. Now he don't want his reality because he wasn't ready for his reality. This goes to say for us when we ask God for something. Let's say, for example, if we asking God for healing because we've been sick or we are sick And we don't want to be sick. We want to be free. All right? That's the whole point of being sick, is that you're not free. But the point of is to say the reason why you are sick is because your soul is congested with something that is not giving it the soul freedom. Can you remember every thought that you ever thought of? Probably not. But I'm willing to guarantee the position that you're in is based upon the thoughts you meditated on. Most times, in most cases, we don't know the very thing that we're meditating on is if it's going to benefit us or it's not long term. We just see it for what it is, that it's good to eat right then and there, so we take it and we eat it. The same self measure that happened in Adam and Eve is in the Bible is the same measure that has happened to us now. It's no different. See, we would look at it like time has progressed from Adam and Eve to now, but actually it hasn't. We're still in the same time frame. So we look at the seasons like, okay, when it is fall, the leaves fall. When it's winter, the snow comes, or when it's summer, the bugs come out, or it's a different. And we would judge time based upon that, but actually that's not time at all. Humanity is not willing to leave fear, so we're destined to repeat it. Fear goes like this. Fear is like an ex-spouse. You divorced the ex-spouse because the spouse was abusive. Mentally, I mean, physically, verbally, in any manner that you want to say, is abusive. Fear is abusive. And it does whatever it takes to get back with you. The reason why you left it because you saw something greater. You saw love. This is the point where you saw that you're more valuable than how you've been treated, and definitely more valuable than to be able or to accept being mistreated. So you left for the sake of love. So now you got married to love. This is what you call a born again person. You don't see love without seeing Jesus. Even if the individual will never try to equate the two as one and the same, but you'll never see love without seeing Jesus. What I'm saying is the four books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, talks about the demonstration of Jesus walking on the earth or his arrival to the point of his departure. But all it does, it just shows what love is, or what love does, and what love will be. That is spread throughout the whole world. The commandments of Christ, regardless if people won't, regardless if a person will never admit or never agree to the fact that Jesus is Lord, his teachings still is. They still are. They still deem him as Lord, and his teachings is all over the world. So humanity has the great blueprint how to be free from fear. Man is reluctant to do it because man is still married to the ex-spouse that's abusive. Like I said, the ex-spouse is willing to do whatever it takes to keep you or to win you back. It has no limits. It has no limits by any means necessary. If you ever saw a person to do something by any means necessary, they are in fear. This is what fear is. So that fear is to keep you from being free. Now going back to the movie, the kid is embracing his reality. reluctantly though, but he's embracing it. But he comes to a point of growth where he has to face himself. He has to trust himself. He has to believe in himself. So he started off as a kid that wanted to be a hero, but he never really saw himself as a hero. He saw no, he never didn't. He didn't know what it took to be a hero. He saw the hero and he wanted to be that, but he didn't know what it took. So now, when he asked to be a hero, now you're finna go through the process of what it takes to become a hero. So if you're sick and you ask God to be healed, now you're finna go through the process of what it takes to be healed. Once you get this process down, you will never be sick again. That's the whole point of why fear is there, to keep you from getting to this point, and why it has been there. Fear has been robbing you from getting to this place to understand where you're trying to be in fruition. The very thing that you're asking God for is the very thing that God desires for you to have. I'm not talking about things that's outside of His will. It's a case in point. We're on the subject of sickness. If you asking God to be healed, He desires for you to be healed. He's awaiting for you to come to this point of asking, because now that can unlock the door where He can put the flashlight on the one who has been stealing from you all that point. Now remember, it goes like this. You have a well. Let's say, for example, you have a well that's full of water. Let's say like it's, whew, wherever your age is, that's how many feet it is of depth. Okay? So if you're 43, you have, the depth of the well is like 43 feet. Right? If the thief is allowed to come inside your well, he's going to steal all your water. He's going to take it out, take it out, take it out, take it out, to the point of you get bone dry, and if you have no water to draw from, you die of thirst. This is what the thief does, and the thief is fear. As long as you are in fear, you can never be whole. Now, let's clear the record by saying fear is not being tempted to do something that doesn't grant love across the board, for you to receive, for you to give. Fear only, like I said, is an abusive relationship. It's an abusive spouse, and the only intentions of it is to put you in bondage. Because if you're in bondage, you can never see the true love, which is your freedom. God desires for you to be healed as much as you're asking. But if your well is run dry, the thief has been stealing from you, how can you believe that you can be healed when you can't even see it? This is what the thief does. The thief has stolen so much from the well that you can't even see that you deserve to be healed. Now you're basically begging. So if your well is dry, you're going to beg for water. So this is when Satan comes around, or fear comes around, and he gives you this alternative. It's like the selling of the remaining of your soul. I'll give you this water if you do this. I'll give you the money to pay this bill if you do this. I'll give you that car, that house, that husband, that wife, that woman that you lust, that man that you lust. I'll give you this money if you do this. The reason why he could approach you with such proposition is because your well is run dry. You are deprived of love. You are at desperation point. In most cases, with us, when we get to this place, we don't know how to call upon the name of the Lord because we don't know the name of the Lord, because we don't believe in the name of the Lord, because we don't believe in Him anymore, or we never did because of fear. Fear keeps you in bondage, right? But the truth sets you free from the bondage or the tormentor. Your truth sets you free from fear. The truth comes in love, is the great liberator. You can't give me one example, and I guess this is the point where I'm crossing the line by trying to convince a person. You can't give me one example that Jesus ever, that he never once didn't walk in love. If you believe in for your healing, or you believe in God for your healing, let me say it that way, your asking is going to put you in a position not for Jesus to heal you, because he already healed you. You just can't see it because you're stuck behind the hologram. The hologram is what you see. What you see is that you're not healed. That's the hologram. That's not real. So when you ask Jesus for something, you're going to ask of faith. Faith is what you don't see. What you do see is the actual lie. This is why it's considered the past, because it's full of lies. It's something that denied you from the truth. When you ask Jesus for something, Jesus already did it over 2,000 years ago, but a person like I wasn't born over 2,000 years ago, or this wasn't even invented 2,000 years ago. When Jesus went to the cross, he went for everything there ever would be, because everything that would be has always been. There's nothing new. So when the Father gave us a sacrifice, he sacrificed it once and for all. He don't have to continually to do it every time something is done. He did it once and for all for till the end of time of the earth. He took away all sin. The problem is, for most of us, we don't know that, and our ignorance is our demise. And what we don't know, how can we believe? And without your faith being sharpened, without your faith being at its full capacity, fullness of capacity, how can it set the soul free? Without faith, how can you believe in love? You're only stuck behind a lie. And this is the hologram. Now, going back to the movie, Spider-Man is a kid that wanted to be a hero, never knew what it's like to, wasn't what it takes to be a hero. Now he's in the cusp of dealing with himself, which is a mirror. He has to be presented with all the fears that he don't want to deal with. But the very things that he's running from, which are the fears, are the very thing that keeps him in torment, or where his life doesn't have peace. So until he's ready to confront the fears, which it would be the truth, to look himself in the mirror. Now you're talking about deliverance. When the moment that you're ready to face yourself in the mirror is the moment that you could be set free from the very thing that you're asking for, or the very thing that's stopping you from getting what you asked for. In most cases, we are afraid of that point. But it's up to us, but ultimately it's inevitable. Because what you ask for It's going to be your confession of reality. I mean, your reality is based upon your confession. So if you confess yourself into a situation, to a bad situation, you're going to confess yourself out of it. If you're in a bad situation, you have got yourself into the situation through your thoughts, and you confess those thoughts. So now you in that reality, and now you don't want to be in that reality. So you end up confessing, I don't want to deal with what I'm dealing with. So therefore, here you come. Your life is about to present you through a walk to face whatever caused you to be in that, because your words are going to set you free. So how we thought it, how we thought it, for the most cases, in most case, or in most cases, we were taught in part, which is definitely great, because we wasn't ready to receive everything in whole, which is the point of what we're saying. We were taught to ask God for something, and voila, it happens. If we can believe God can do that, then voila, we will have it right then and there. But in most cases, we can't, so we don't. With that being said, people of faith, when you ask God for something, it puts you in position to to remove it. But you're gonna have to be willing to confront the hologram, which is the lies. What you see is not really real. Because if it was real, it would have been there before the problem even actually existed. And no, let me say it. I'm sorry, I said that incorrectly. If the hologram, if the problem was real, it would be there before there actually was no problem. So before there's a problem, there wasn't anything. You was walking freely. A bump in the road comes like a fear approach. And that fear approach is to bring you to the point of bondage and captivity so that you won't be free. Because if you're free, you can see your purpose. You will have power over the tormentor or fear itself. So fear has to keep you in a web of lies of fear, which is the hologram. If you don't know what is real and what's not real, how can you be set free? This is the gist of the movie Far From Home, is that he has to get to the point of seeing himself to realize that the truth is within him. But he's learning how to become the hero by facing himself in the mirror. Through the course of the movie, he was running from himself. He's running from the responsibility of what he asked for. He asked to be a hero, but now he's running from the responsibility of being it, because he really don't know what it's like to be a hero. He just know he wants to be it because it is great once it's done. Okay, it's like us asking God for healing. If we ask God for healing, we see that it's great because we see the freedom from it, right? But we don't know what it takes to be healed. The process. The process is internal. More than likely, there has been If we are sick at any point, there has been a thief inside of our soul that has been stealing the water from our well, which the water is the living word of God, which is the love of God. The thief has been stealing the love of God. Now, how can the thief steal love from us? What he does is bombard it with other thoughts that is like a, can I say, forgive me if this is the wrong word, counteractive. He brings something that is basically like, is designed to attack love. I will go here for the purpose of this. Pornography is designed to attack love. Alcohol is designed to attack love. Smoking, partying is designed to attack love. Having unmarital sex is designed to attack love. Look at it this way. Everything that Jesus is asking us not to do is everything that what goes on in the world is telling you to do. Why? Because it's designed to attack love. Jesus is spread all across the world. And not, like I said, if the person don't even believe in Jesus per se, but what he stood for is bigger than what he is physically, or who he ever was physically. What he said spiritually was what his thoughts, and he said he was bringing the kingdom of God, which is the thoughts of how they do it in heaven. The thoughts how they do it in heaven, which is all love. He brought that to the earth. That's all around the world, regardless if a person would never admit or never agree or never submit to the idea that Jesus is Lord. What he did in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, a person can't take that away from love itself. It's all the demonstration of love. And he said that this very thing that he does, we should do. Everything in that's fear based is designed to tear that down. It can work inside the church. It can work inside the business place. It can work inside corporate America, the education system, the what is that? The protect and serve. It doesn't matter what field or whatever we try to label it as. If there's love there, fear itself is designed to attack it. And I in other videos, I have talked about pornography. What's the intent of it? It's a divorcing spirit. The point of a divorcing spirit the point of a divorcing spirit is to separate you from love. When a person's soul is consumed with love, you are invincible. I mean, for any person that's listening to this that ever experienced what we would call quote unquote loving someone or being in love, you're on cloud nine. You don't see any hurt, you don't see any harm, you don't see anything. You just in love. You're not the person is not the love that you're in love with. You're inside love. Only thing what you just when a person is in love with another person, as we would say, we just gave a reason. No, let me say it this way. We just eliminate any reason not to love that person. That's all what being in love is. Being in love with the person is not having a reason not to love them. When a person said they love hard, no, you don't love hard. You just love right. Up to that point, we have been loving incorrectly. We have been loving with conditions, which is fear based. We love with worry and concern if we're going to get it back. So we lean to expectations and and this sort of thing. But actually, when we so called quote unquote fall in love, only thing we have done is just remove any restrictions to just love. A person say, I'm vulnerable when I come to love. Well, not so much you're vulnerable as much as you are free from fear. The idea that you are vulnerable, that's fear trying to talk and say like that you don't want to be where you are. Because where you are, fear can't touch you. Nothing of evil can touch you when we are inside love. You are invincible. This is the reason why love is constantly being attacked, is to get your soul away from love. Because if your soul is away from love, you are no longer invincible. You are, let's say, blood in the water, and the sharks are coming. So anything that's trying to go up against the stance of Jesus or the the significance of Jesus is actually going against the significance of love. See, what the enemy did was he made it a flesh and blood matter. He made it that Jesus is like this, this body type deal. Like, okay, he's what is he? Is he white and blue eye, or is he black with dreads, or is he this or that? Or if you were to subtract the physicality of Jesus and just focus on the things that he asks you to do, or he asks us to do, or what he's saying that he's doing of himself, can you find one and can you find me one complaint, or do you have a complaint that it doesn't equate love? Can you tell me one thing that Jesus said to do or what not to do that it doesn't involve love? If you can find through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John one thing that Jesus said that doesn't equate to love or doesn't stop the thief from robbing a person of love, I if you can point that out to me, I will never talk about Jesus again. Jesus came to bring the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is love. So a person to have a problem with Jesus or the religion aspect of it, of Jesus, I get it. You can have a problem with that all day. The tradition, you can have a problem with that all day. But the context of Jesus, if you got a problem with that, you have a problem with love itself. He said this. He gave us two commandments that would basically fulfill all commandments. Love God with all your heart, with all your